Thank you for tuning in to the Governor of Newfoundland and Labrador's announcement. I'm Tina Coffey with the Department of Education, and I am your moderator for today's event. Joining us today are the Honourable Andrew Furey, Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador, the Honourable Tom Osborne, Minister of Education, Elizabeth Kidd, CEO and President, College of North Atlantic, Goronwy Price, Chair of the Board of Trustees, Newfoundland and Labrador English School Board, and Craig Rowe, Board Chair for TechNL. Our event is ready to begin. Premier Furey, I turn it over to you.
For what? Perfect. We're allowed to have masks off?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for a timely announcement for our province's education system. I'm joined here today in the room by Minister Osborne, Minister responsible for education, Goronwy Price, Chair of the Board of Trustees for Newfoundland and Labrador's English School District, and Craig Rowe of TechNL. And joining us from the West Coast is Liz Kidd, the President and CEO of the College of the North Atlantic. We are coming together today to announce a partnership to cultivate homegrown talent and to develop a diverse workforce in the technology industry. There have been many exciting developments in the provincial technology and innovation industry in the recent weeks. NASDAQ's purchase of Verifin showed that our provincial technology and innovation industry is ready to take the next step on a global stage. Verifin should be celebrated for their success, and I know they credit a lot of that success to their origin at Memorial University's Genesis Center. The search for talent in our digital economy is predicted to intensify in the oncoming years. We need to be ready. TechNL estimates that the current capacity for software development graduates from all sources in the province currently meets only 10 to 15% of the industry's projected skills needs. Young people represent tomorrow's innovators, entrepreneurs, and business enablers. We need to develop more pathways in our education system that support young people exploring careers in technology and innovation. Today, our government, the Newfoundland and Labrador English School District, and the College of the North Atlantic are signing a memorandum of understanding to create new pathways to enable just that. These include academic opportunities to support interested students to more easily transition from high school to information technology programs at the College of the North Atlantic. This collaboration between K-12 and our public college will further expose young people in this province to many opportunities in our provincial technology and innovation industry, and in turn, help them build their future pathways to local employment. You can indeed have a vibrant career and a bright future right here in Newfoundland and Labrador, and that is evident in the technology industry. The tech industry is part of our prosperous future, and I'll now ask Minister Osborne to provide details of this first program that will be launched under this new MOU.
Thank you, Premier, and good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this exciting announcement. When the Premier assigned me to this portfolio, overseeing education from early learning to K-12 all the way through to post-secondary education, I was excited by the opportunities for collaboration that our department could facilitate. To that end, I want to thank Mr. Price and Ms. Kidd and their organizations for their willingness to come together for this MOU that has significant academic and industry benefits. Through this MOU, we will work together to develop a technology career pathways program that will provide high school students with pathways featuring a combination of high school courses as well as post-secondary courses and experiential learning placements within our tech industry. Students in the Technology Career Pathways, or TCP program, will receive high school credits while also achieving college-level certifications to prepare them for future studies and careers in the technology and innovation sector. As the Premier mentioned, we are hitting the ground running with this work. We are preparing to launch a pilot program for the start of the next school year under the TCP program. This pilot will focus on Python, a widely used programming language in the fields such as web development, data science, and artificial intelligence. We chose this pathway as our first pilot because industry have told us it is fundamental as a building block for careers in technology. Under the pilot, the plan is for students participating in the program to start coursework in grade 10 with the current high school computer science curriculum, transitioning into post-secondary courses in Python programming in grades 11 and 12. There will be several benefits for students who take part in the pilot. Students who complete the program will receive a micro-credential from the College of the North Atlantic in Python. They will get course credit at a post-secondary level in addition to the normal high school credits. This program will also feature an experiential learning placement at a business in our province's technology and innovation sector for at least 6 weeks during the summer, after either level 1 or level 2 years, something that Mr. Preston Craig, with TechNL will speak to. The goal of this program is to give students hands-on experiences in technology and innovation. And for those who wish to pursue a diploma or degree after high school, a head start to their post-secondary studies. This pilot will start in 8 schools in the Avalon, Central, Western, and Labrador regions of the province. Specific schools will be identified in the new year. We will evaluate how the pilot works, and if it fulfills the goals we've set for it, we will look to expand in future years. And I do want to assure our educators in the high school system that there will be no displacement of teachers. While we are starting with Python, future pathways could focus on cybersecurity, infrastructure, web development, or other high-demand skill areas. This program allows the commitment of our government, of the English School District, and the College of the North Atlantic to embed digital learning throughout our education system and to help prepare the workforce of the future for the jobs of the future. As you know, Premier Furey is focused and dedicated to the IT sector. Our government understands the benefits for employment and for the economy of the IT sector. I've often said you don't need to be in Ontario or New York or California to work in the IT sector. You can be anywhere, including anywhere in Newfoundland and Labrador, as is evident by the recent news in this province in the IT sector. With that, and before I pass it over to Craig Rowe, I do want to say to, Goronwy Price, I do want to say to our educators in the high school system, this has been a different year for sure, and I want to thank you for putting our children, your students, first and foremost. We appreciate it. Goronwy?
Thank you, Minister. As Chair of the Board of Trustees of the Newfoundland and Labrador English School District, I welcome this formal partnership with the provincial government and the College of the North Atlantic. For several years, the Board has supported and promoted an expanded use of technology to enhance teaching and learning in our classroom. How can you not, with all the children loving it so much in the schools and classrooms that they take part in? We've done it through our strategic planning process, through our professional learning for teachers, through partnerships on computer coding and digital literacy initiatives, and so much more. In fact, this Technology Career Pathways program is a natural progression for our focus on K-9 coding over the past number of years. The provincial government has also made a recent investment of over $20 million in buying instruments such as the laptops for teachers and the Chromebooks for our grades 7s to 12 students. And as you heard on the radio this morning, in Labrador, the rollout is just starting. So it's a little bit of Christmas coming a little early for some parts of the province, but that's a good thing. These items are not only for addressing some of the COVID issues, but they do give us a tremendous platform for after COVID. Technology is an integral part of our lives today and will be in the future. So while there are details to work out regarding the MOU, as part of our commitment to prepare students to meet the current and future workforce demand in the technology sector, our teams are ready to do it. The Technology Career Pathways program will be an exciting opportunity to support high school students who have a keen interest in computer programming and provide them with access to college-level instructors and credits over a 3-year period. This can't be underestimated. When students get the opportunity to do something in high school that clearly and presents those pathways to their post-secondary learning, it's definitely a step forward for our education system. It will also provide them with learning placements within the sector, all of which will give them a head start in pursuing a post-secondary education and a successful career, no matter what post-secondary option they choose. And I'm sure we'll be talking to TechNL to assist with identifying those placement opportunities. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. On behalf of the board, I can say we are supportive of this initiative and focused on our students and their futures. I look forward to seeing this program introduced into our schools and for its graduates to assist in building the industries in the future. Thank you. I'll now turn over to the College of the North Atlantic President, Elizabeth Kidd.
Thank you, Mr. Price. On behalf of CNA's executive leadership team, I am honored to join yourself, Premier Furey, and Minister Osborne for today's event. College of the North Atlantic is proud to be collaborating on this pilot project. We know that the key to ensuring student success is supporting their interests and exposing them to opportunities that will make the transition from high school to college life easier. This pilot project means that we have an opportunity not only to create a way for secondary students to begin thinking and gaining experience for their post-secondary career, but also to cultivate a group of students that will address skills gaps in the labor market. The COVID pandemic has actually led to an increase in the digital economy. We know the technology sector in Newfoundland and Labrador is a $1.6 billion industry that is forecasted to continue to experience rapid growth over the next 5+ years. Here's what we hope to achieve with this pilot program. We want high school students to become exposed to computer programming best practices. We want them to learn and develop practical programming skills and have them become more knowledgeable about the potential for a career in this industry. Careers like cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, IT infrastructure, and web development. All this supports the growing needs of the sector right here at home in Newfoundland and Labrador with us at College of the North Atlantic. Today's announcement is an important one and an exciting one. 8 high schools in this province, through the Technology Career Pathway Program, will cultivate a team of students who will start learning computer programming language at a young age, all the while gaining incredible hands-on learning and experience while earning a micro-credential in Python programming and course credits from College of the North Atlantic. We can't do this alone, and CNA is thankful to the provincial government, NLESD, and organizations like TechNL for believing in our youth and continuing to invest in their educational future, our future. This groundwork will, in turn, lead to a significant outcome when it comes to our overall economic future. We're excited to do our part and help these students discover their potential. Thanks so much for having me here today.
Well, thank you, Ms. Kidd. I'll now pass it over to Craig Rowe from TechNL for a few comments. Craig?
Thank you very much, Premier Furey, and thank you, Minister Osborne. At TechNL, we've been working with the talent gap in the Newfoundland and Labrador tech sector for several years. And we've got a great, amazing volunteer board of directors, and we work very closely with our member companies in the tech sector throughout the province. And we've been working closely with the province on how to address this talent gap for several months now and the past couple of years, but they've been incredibly responsive, and we really appreciate that. This is a really important step forward here with the Technology Career Pathway Program. Our members tell us all the time, including my company, Clear Risk, that there's a real talent gap here in the province. As mentioned, the size of the industry now is nearing $2 billion, and we think that it's going to double in size in the next 5-6 years. Verifin is really just helping to accelerate that. But as we grow and become more successful, that just means that we need a lot more people. And as we've discussed with the Premier and Minister Osborne, one of the best ways for Newfoundland to stay competitive in this increasingly technological environment, and technology spans all industries now, it's not just pure tech. We deal closely with the oil and gas industry, for example, digitization of oil and gas and clean energy. But as we continue to move in that more technological direction, the talent gap is going to get even bigger. And one of the best ways for Newfoundland and Labrador to be competitive in the future is to have a better pipeline of talent. And the best way to do that is to make sure the kids coming out of school are ahead of the game. So as they look to careers, there's a lot of opportunities in Newfoundland and Labrador in the tech sector, both in the pure tech side, so this is great, so they get to learn programming language, but also there's also opportunities on the business side. So if tech is not your thing, there's a lot of opportunities here. So at my company, Clear Risk, we've created what's called the Clear Risk Academy. So we've already brought in some high school students, and we've done some similar training. We're really looking forward to this program and getting our future high school students involved in the TCP program. Other companies like Verifin, which has been mentioned, and Genoa Design have similar high school programs. And everything that we do in this direction to give these kids further ahead gets them closer to having a job when they graduate or after they finish post-secondary. So this is really a great step in the right direction. We actually, a lot of us hire a lot of graduates from CNA and students, and the caliber is phenomenal. So that high school students are going to be getting access to these micro-credentials through CNA is really a powerful thing. So Newfoundland punches above its weight in the tech sector, and we're going to continue to with initiatives like this and ensuring that we've got the best people and we can compete anywhere in the world. So thank you very much again.
Well, thank you, Craig. We'll certainly, this is an exciting day as we continue to grow our technology industry in Newfoundland and Labrador, and certainly is a great reason for optimism and hope for future employment and to sustainable families support as we move forward into 2021 and beyond. I'd like to open it up now for any questions from the virtual media, if you will.
Thank you, Premier. For the benefit of our speakers, there are 4 reporters registered for today's announcement. Our first questions are from Richard Duggan, BOCM. Please go ahead.
Thank you. For this pilot program, what sort of capacity are we looking at? How many students are you hoping will be able to avail of it?
It depends. There are 8 schools throughout the province for the pilot program, so it really depends on student enrollment. This is a course that we're offering. It's not mandatory, so we're hoping to see a good uptake by students. It is a great opportunity for students throughout the province, and we believe there will be a solid uptake. But whatever the classroom size, based on the 8 schools have not yet been chosen, but based on the 8 schools and the classroom size, you could see upwards to 200 students in the first year.
Now, you said that currently in the province, in terms of tech project needs, we're only generating about 10 to 15% of what we need. How do you hope that this new initiative will impact these numbers, and do you have any goals in mind?
Well, the goal is to create sustainable, real good jobs so that people can grow their family and live here and contribute to the economy. At 10 to 15%, I think we've all reflected on the gap, the talent gap, if you will, that exists. Our goal is to fill them all with Newfoundlanders and Labradorians, but at the same time, we recognize that there's other tools available to us to help fill that gap. What we hope from this program is that high school students in particular will recognize that there are employment opportunities that they can avail of during high school, so that they can train and then use those credentials to further their education, further their professional development, reach their full potential within the technology ecosystem into the future.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ben Clary, NTV News. Please go ahead.
Perfect. Thank you. So my first question is, the program isn't mandatory, but will students who want to apply, will they have to have certain credentials to take it, like, say, take a certain math course or something like that?
No, so in grade 10, they would do the normal computer science programming curriculum that's already offered through our school system. And then from there, if they choose, they can do the Python MicroCredential in grade 11 and another course then in grade 12.
Perfect. Thank you. And for someone like myself who's not very tech literate, why Python programming? What is Python programming?
I'll ask Craig Rowe to speak to that a little further, but Python, he would have a much better understanding working in the tech sector, but it's one of the fastest growing and one of the more widely used programming languages and something that the IT sector is looking for. So, Craig?
I was afraid you were going to throw that back to me. I'm a non-technical tech company founder and CEO, but no, you're right. It's one of the more common and fastest growing software development platforms, and it's one that we look for a lot of our new hires. So it is probably the best one that we could be teaching our high school kids to give them a good foundation, and in a way that's probably that's more interesting for them, because it is a really a good program for them to pick up and be interested in.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Next, we have David Marr, Telegram. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. With all respect to CNA and the good work there, I'm wondering, where does Memorial University fit into today's announcement?
Well, I can speak to that. I mean, our government, under the leadership of Premier Furey, have been looking at a number of initiatives involving the tech sector. This is one. I know we have something else that we're involved with, TechNL tomorrow, and you can expect further news at some point in the near future from Memorial involving the tech sector.
Thank you very much. And I'm wondering how will it be decided which high schools throughout the province will get to take part in the pilot program? Is that kind of a demographic question?
We've chosen 4 regions of the province to give every region an opportunity to be involved. So the 4 schools, it will be a collaborative decision between the Newfoundland and Labrador English School District. We'll have the French School District have some input, but we'll also have the Department of Education involved, and we'll consult with the NLTA as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Next, we have Jeremy Eaton, CBC. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. I'm just curious, have the instructors for this program been identified, and if so, how many will be needed to roll this program out at the 8 schools in the new year?
No, they haven't been identified, but that's a question probably best answered by Liz Kidd. They will be identified based on the regions, based on the schools, and from that, Liz, did you want to pop in?
Yes, thanks, Minister. I mean, one of the great things about this program is that we're actually going to teachers at the actual schools are going to actually benefit from that. So the teachers that are selected are actually going to partake in a 45-hour of instructional programming from our instructors here at the college. And they'll be the teachers in the high schools will actually receive a micro-credential as a Python teacher. So there's some great benefits to come out of this, and we are looking forward to working with the teachers in a co-teaching environment with our instructors. So they will also be mentored by our instructors, and our instructors will also be teaching in the grade 11 and grade 12 programs as well. So this is going to be a very big team effort, and we very much look forward to partaking in that with them.
Appreciate that, Ms. Kidd. One follow-up question. How much is all that going to cost, or how much is all of this going to cost, this pilot project?
The final determination on that will be a budget decision. We still have to go through the budget process, but we believe that through the English School District and the department and the college, this pilot program we've identified, and it's our intention to have it up and running in September. But the final budget numbers we'll announce at a later time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeremy. For our final round, Richard, do you have a final question?
Yes, I'm thinking in terms of the post-secondary involvement here for the high school students. Will there be any sort of a fee or any sort of anything that the high school students will have to pay to take part in those post-secondary programs?
No, this is an opportunity for high school students to get the micro-credentials at no cost. So it is a huge opportunity for high school students. Based on the pilot and how well it works, we'll expand to other schools in future years.
Thank you, Richard. Ben Cleary, do you have a final question?
With the delivery of Chromebooks being made soon, will they have any role to play in this at all?
There will be a requirement for additional resources as a result of this. The Chromebooks may play a role, but we see other resources such as laptops playing a role as well.
Thank you, Ben. Dave Maher, do you have a final question?
Yes, thank you. I'm wondering what exactly is a micro-credential, and would it only be recognized within the province or potentially at other institutions across the country?
I'm going to ask Liz Kidd to answer that, but on the surface, a micro-credential is something that employers would look for. It is something, it's a course that would be recognized, that students can put on their resume. It would lead to credits towards post-secondary. Beyond that, Liz, did you want to step in?
No, thank you very much, Minister. Micro-credentials are being rolled out across this country. In fact, College of the North Atlantic is one of the very first, and we will be rolling out a credential in Amazon Web Services as of January of 2021. They are exactly as you pointed out, Minister. It's basically an upskilling. It focuses in on a very, very specific topic, and it provides specific skill sets. They will be recognized across the country. They will most definitely be recognized as employers begin to require this type of upskilling and are looking for these types of micro-credentials.
May I?
Thank you very much
Sure,
once again.
Craig, you have a comment as well on micro-credentials? Yeah.
I just want to validate that when we're hiring young people, student interns or graduates, those micro-credentials factor heavily into our hiring decisions, and the more that they have accomplished before they enter the workforce, the more valuable they are, and they can start off at a higher level, and they can start working right away and contributing to the company. So I can confirm that the tech companies do really value those micro-credentials. So this really is great.
Thank you, David. Jeremy, do you have a final question?
Yes, ma'am. What sort of, has this pilot project been in the works for a while, or was it sped up by the global pandemic that showed the world that a lot more people can work from home? I'm just sort of curious that the timeline of this.
Well, this has been in the works for a little bit, but it's been accelerated certainly over the last few months. The government's priority has certainly been focused on growing the technology industry, and it will continue to be so. We see it as a sustainable area of growth and reason for hope and optimism for the future, but you're quite correct. The current pandemic has identified the fact that technology plays a perhaps more important role in our lives than we even all identified before the pandemic. So it has accelerated it, but that's in line with the government's priorities today in terms of growing our economy for the future.
Appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Our time has ended. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.